Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV. Listen, hope my audio is good. Hope everything is going because, that is what we want to happen. Everything is going, everything is going good. I hope everybody is doing well. Let me see. I want to make sure that. All right. So, as you all are coming in, please make sure that you all are hitting that like button. And if you like what you see, please make sure that you subscribe. Remember that I have two channels now, and my movie and my television reviews will be on my channel of PETV Reacts. That is PETV underscore React. You see it down here at the bottom. And then I have Pam Entertainment TV. All right, people, we are here to discuss the Oscars. This is an Oscars recap. So, the first part of this recap, we're going to talk about the flow, the show, the host, and all of that. Okay. So, first of all, the show was from when I started my broadcast because I did a watch along, and that show was 3 hours and 47 minutes long. Usually, and that was one of the things after I thought about since not watching the Oscars in a long time, that was one of the reasons because the Oscars was so long. Um, it seemed like they tried to whittle down the Oscars by cutting out the songs because usually you'd play all the nominees for best song. But what they did is that they whittled it down to a little QR code. We heard two of the songs, and I'm going to talk about those two performances. We heard two of the songs, but we did not see the rest of the song, which was interesting to me because of the fact that you know it shaved off what 10, 12 minutes. So let's get on in talking about the show. So it was hosted by Conan O'Brien, and I would say he did a decent job. He did a decent job. He did a decent job. I think he did a good job with pacing. I think he did a good job with engaging the audience. I think as far as the audience in the theater, I think the little jokes that he cracked, uh, they did this, and that's what I would expect from an Oscar host, making sure that the show keep moving. Now, I will say that that opening skit went on probably hoocha, probably 10 minutes too long. That's it. Well, if you would know that Florida Evans from Good Times, she has passed away. And I know that you're trying to be funny because, I'm a heavy set black woman, but the joke doesn't even land. And shout out to Esther Roll because she played that role of Florida Evans. But anyway, as I was talking about the host, I think that opening skit was probably 5 minutes too long. I did like the way that he incorporated all of uh the best picture nominees. I like how he incorporated that. I think he did a good job with that. The best picture nominees, and he incorporated those folks that were nominated for leading roles and leading actress, I believe, their pictures. So I like how he incorporated that. I just think it just I think those types of things, those types of skits, I think they should be pre-recorded. I know most of that was pre-recorded, but I just think, those skits should be whittled down to no longer than 10 minutes. And plus, he did a monologue where he gave himself an Oscar and all that other stuff. Like I said, I just think that those skits could be whittled down to about 10 minutes. I did hear, I don't know if you heard the joke that Conan O'Brien did to the CEO of Netflix about talking about how Netflix model has basically ruined the movie going experience because everyone wants to stay at home. He also made wind of the joke of telling the people what's going on because people are also watching their phones. Um, that Netflix is wanting to do. So he made fun of that. I thought, and haven't y'all noticed that usually the Oscars and these big award shows like SAG and the Oscars, the actors will be on their political stuff. Now Conan did do some political jokes, but not too many. But I thought that overall the show was a huge commercial to the audience, and I mean the viewing audience, about what's important to get back into it, get back into the movie theater. So I think what was happening to me is that they were making that a big show. That was the big commercial. That was the big political message, is for the viewing public to see the stars that they like, to, see all of the people, and to get back into watching movies. And all I would say that with Hollywood, I think people want to go to the movies, but you all have original IPs you all are not doing. I think you need to get back to original IPs. You all are playing it too safe with the remixes and stuff. The remake, excuse me, I said remixes, but the remakes, you're playing it too safe with the remix makes, and you all are not fostering superstars anymore. With the influx of Marvel and Marvel movies, it's not the actor people pay attention to now. It's the character. Everyone knows Tom Holland because he's Spider-Man. Robert Downey Jr. because he's Iron Man and about to play Doom. Chris Evans is only known because he is Captain America. You see, you got to go back and incorporate movie stars, and that's going to help you bring butts back to the theater. And original IPs. Y'all got to get these people out here and focus on screenwriters. Good Lord. Because what's happening is, and you all incorporating AI like you do, it is about to put a lot of y'all out of business. And so what Timothy Chalamet said is correct. You don't want to go do ballet and opera because, a lot of movie stars are not ballet and opera stars. So that was part of it. Let's get into some other things on there. The two songs, Golden and I Lied to You, were performed on stage. They did the Sinners musical montage. Shout out to Misty Copeland. She was there. I saw like Misty Copeland, Miles Caden, Raphael Sadiq. I saw Buddy Guy in the back. I don't know why he didn't have a guitar in his hand. There was another lady. There was two ladies in there singing, and forgive me, I don't have their names, but they were singing. But shout out to Misty Copeland. She was performing, and that lady has just had hip replacement surgery in the past couple of months or few months. So she performed. I thought the performance was good. I like how they retold that montage scene and they sung that song. They did a good job. The girls from K-pop Demon Hunter, Demon Slayer, they performed Golden. They did a good job of performing Golden because I think the last time I heard them do it was at the Golden Globes, and oh girls, when she was hitting those high notes, her voice kind of cracked, but this time they were solid. They sung the song. Shout outs to them. They did the in memoriam piece, and They played tribute. They spent probably a good 15 minutes paying tribute to Rob Reiner and his wife, and Robert Redford and Catherine O'Hara, who passed away. They had a nice little montage of Rob Reiner and all the movies that he did, and then all the actors that were there, that performed in any of his movies. They came out. Billy Crystal did a nice little speech about Rob Reiner and everything like that. I thought that that was great. Uh, the second half of that was uh, the piece about Robert Redford. Now they had Barbara Streisand to come out. Now we ain't seen Barbara Streisand in a many years. I just would say this is a technical issue that I had. Barbara Streisand is probably 80 something years old. And so that means that their voice don't carry like a younger person. And they had this music playing that was literally drowning her out. The only time that we were able to hear her is when she sung Memories. That was about the only time we were able to really hear her. So I think that that was just a technical issue, because I think they were supposed to play it low, but I don't know if they rehearsed it or not. But her voice wasn't strong enough to really carry that. So we're gonna get into the categories. I'm not gonna go over all of them, but I do want to go over pretty much the main ones with you all. So Sinners was nominated for 16, and we'll just go over the nominations, and then we'll also go over the ones that were let's see. Let me get my bookmarks, Joe. Give me one moment. Let's see what this is. We're going to share screens. All right, let's look at this. Now, this was supposed to have been the. Because remember, I don't need the sound, but remember, they were in that theater for over 4 hours. So they got a bottle of water, some popcorn, and some Raisinets. This is what was in their box. Also, that was in their box was they had this this light or something. So when the K-pop people did their show, when they did their show, they had like a little light thing going on. So I wanted to show I wanted to show you all that. Also, too, I learned that they had swag bags, and in those swag bags, the nominees got up to 300 or 350,000 dollars worth of stuff. Let's get into that. This was the memoriam. This was the musical bit that they did. This is Michael B. Jordan, but I wanted to get to where they did the nomination. Here we go. Give me one moment. Let's replay that. So let's go over.
The Oscar goes to Michael B. Jordan.
This is the first Oscar win and nomination for Michael B. Jordan.
All right. And he went on to do his speech. I thought it was a good speech. We're not going to go over all of that because I don't want any type of my thing not to be monetized. But that was one of the highlights of the night that Michael B. Jordan won. Let me go ahead and get a good list and tell you about all the other winners. Sinners was nominated for 16. They won 4. One Battle After the Another was nominated with 13, and they won a good amount. So they won best one Battle After the Another won for Best Picture. Best Actress, Jessie Buckley won. And as you saw, Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan won. Best Director, One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson. Best Original Song went to Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. And if you wanted to hear the other songs, you actually had to hit the QR code that they had on the screen so you could hear it, listen to the other songs. I think they shaved maybe 10 minutes from you not listening to the other songs. Best International Feature was Joaquin Trier with Sentimental Value, Cinematography. Shout out to Autumn Darald Arkupa because she was one that I wanted to win. She was the first woman to win in that category, so shout out to her. The best editing went to One Battle After Another. That was Andrew Jurgensen. Best sound went to F1. And what was interesting about the F1, they were nominated. Hold on. They were nominated for Best Picture, but the only person that I saw that repping them was Damson Idris. I didn't see Brad Pitt. Did you all see Brad Pitt? Because I didn't see Brad Pitt. But they won Best Sound. Best Original Score went to Sinners Ludwig Göransson. So they had the Best Documentary Feature, which was Mr. Nobody Against Putin. I wanted The Perfect Neighbor to win. I thought I just liked that one better. They had Best Documentary Short. Visual effects went to Fire and Ash. Now, places where I thought that Sinners would have won, Frankenstein won, but shout out to them with the best production design. Frankenstein won. Ryan Coogler did win Best Original Screenplay. One Battle After Another won Best Adapted Screenplay. Sean Penn won for Best Supporting Actor. And he won probably 3 times before, but Sean Penn is not showing up. So that shaved maybe 2.5 minutes that you didn't have to listen to his speech. And they won. This one was interesting that I thought was to go to Sinners, but actually went to One Battle After Another, was the new award, Best Casting. That went to Cassandra Koulakounis. And I thought that Frances Maisler was going to win that one. That was one that I was surprised that Sinners didn't win. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. I knew that was going to go to Frankenstein. Now, Best Costume Design, that went to Frankenstein as well. People thought that Ruth Carter was going to pull that one out. Best Animated Feature went to K-pop Demon Hunters. So then we get to the Best Supporting Actress, because that was one of the categories that people were like eyeing, like, ooh, I wonder who's going to win. I wonder who is going to win. And then we see as far as the betting sites, it was between Amy Madigan and Tiana Taylor, and Amy Madigan won. And shout out to her. Because her role was also spoofed in the parody at the beginning of the show. But she did a good job. She won. Shout out to her. I don't have any complaints. Now, would I have wanted Wumi to win? Yes, but I don't have any complaints. I think Amy Madigan did a good job. So there, like I said, in costume design, I would have thought that Sinners would have picked that up, but they did not. but we will also continue. There were a lot of people that were excited about the Michael B. Jordan win. And I just wanted to show you, here's Michael B. Jordan. Let me make sure that you all are seeing what I see. What is this? Hold on. Here is Michael B. Jordan hugging they got a good picture of him hugging Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, this is poignant because Leonardo DiCaprio was one of Michael B. Jordan's favorite actors. So I don't know what Leo was telling him in the ear, but whatever it was, it looked heartfelt, and Michael B. Jordan was overcome. And he was overwhelmed. If you looked at his face when they called his name, he had a little smirk, and then it went to to me, it looked like he had a little smirk, and then it went to like abject fear, and then the realization that they called my name. They really truly called my name. I think he realized last week that he possibly had a chance. There was something. I think that's the end of it. I did want to show you all that they were starving. You remember I showed you the little box of food that they have? They were starving so bad, y'all. Michael B. Jordan had to go. Here is when Chase Infinity grabbed him and was like, Chase Infinity grabbed him and was congratulating him, taking him, I guess taking him like, you got this, you got this, you did this, congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
Where's Michael? Where'd he go?
He's
And
talking to
as soon-
Chase.
Pick binoculars.
And child, they are already shipping them two together. Oh my God, they'd make a great couple. You know how. So Michael B. Jordan, they were hungry. He went to In-N-Out Burger. Now he took a photo shoot, but he went to In-N-Out Burger for his burger. He was very excited. He was hungry. They were starving. Really starving. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to share in. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share in X. I will tell you after the show, there was just some brief controversy. Not really even controversy. You know, folks were mad. A lot of people were wanting Timothy Chalamet to win. And even to the point, as I was perusing Twitter last night, there were a lot of folks saying that Timothy Chalamet should have won, but Timothy Chalamet put his foot in his mouth, and that's why he didn't win. They went through all of these little things, and the Brazilian delegation wanted their person to win. I think his name was Robert Moura. So it was a lot of back and forth on Twitter last night. But the bottom line is this. Do I think, because people were like, well, he made those comments, Timothy Chalamet made those comments about not wanting to have to go back to or do ballet or do opera. Now, in the context of what he was talking about is the theme of what, in my opinion, was the political theme of the whole Oscars, was that they wanted the viewing people to go back to the movies. It's time for you to go back to the movies and support a good movie. I think that was the theme, and I think that was the issue of what he was talking about. So let's be very clear. He made that statement uh a couple, because he take that show or did that show. I want to say it was either that Friday night before the SAG Awards or maybe earlier. However, child, the TikTok sleuth pulled up the fact that this is a sentiment that he has said several times. Now, according to the Twitter X universe, they were trying to say that the only reason that Michael B. Jordan won is because he ran a good campaign, and then he did a smear campaign against Timothy Chalamet. If you have followed Michael B. Jordan and followed Michael B. Jordan's career, he's never done a smear campaign for anybody. He is a person that was of the belief, if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. He's never been the person to complain, oh, I didn't get that. That was supposed to go to me, not publicly. He's always said, if something's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. I'm just going to go back and work harder to do what I need to do. And that's what you see. Because forever who your fave was to win. Please remember that the votes for the SAG Awards, I think, sealed it for Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet seems like Hollywood is trying to give you that superstar. But I don't know if Timothy Chalamet has the temperament for that. I don't know. But does that matter? Yes, it does matter, because you as a movie star is one thing. Because, let's take Sean Penn for example. Sean Penn doesn't like the politicking of all of these award shows. He doesn't like to do all of that. He just wants to show up and see if he won or not. He doesn't want to have to go and do a lot of the politicking, and he doesn't. And boom, he still wins. So it is about the work. Did Timothy Chalamet do a good job in Marty Supreme? Yes, he did. But his peers thought that Michael B. Jordan edged him out. Now, what's the percentage? I don't know. But they were looking at the fact, because I know people were saying, like, well, Michael B. Jordan, he was in the film this amount of time. Michael B. Jordan was in that film a predominant amount of time. Whether he was playing, and this man played technically 3 separate characters. He played 2 twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, and then he played Stack as a vampire. So he's technically playing 3 people with different personalities. I guess from an actor standpoint, he pulled that crap off, and they wanted to award him for that. Timothy Chalamet gave an award-winning performance, but it just wasn't for him to have this year. So I think all of those things have kind of pulled up, and everybody said, and like I said, it's natural, because you showed us that Michael B. Jordan didn't win, and we saw all the things that we saw him do, we'd be just as upset. So shout out to the Timothy Chalamet fans. I understand that your fave did not win, and I clearly understand the of it all. Let's see. Let's get out of here. Let me go. They had a little montage, because there was all through TikTok, as far as with Michael B. Jordan winning, people were just overall, depending on which, it doesn't matter what demographic you were coming from. Overall, I see people with their watch parties, and people were ecstatic. Let me share this screen. I'm not going to go over all of them. So when you go through here, everyone was ecstatic. I just clipped it, but I'm not going to go over because I don't want the video to go too long. Because there he is at In-N-Out, or he's eating at In-N-Out, and you see he has his camera crew with him. That's him accepting and trying to take it all in. We'll listen to this one.
Man, this is like really overwhelming, and it's hard for me to articulate how I feel at the moment. But you know, I'm so happy for our film, and like this doesn't really happen. So I'm taking that moment in. God is good. God is good. And yeah, Mama, what's up?
What did your mom say when you got back to your seat after winning your Oscar?
Baby, I'm so proud of you. And then she tried, try to stop herself from crying. Because they threw me back out there afterwards for Best Picture. So I didn't get a chance to really process it because I was sitting in the chair. I'm trying to like applaud somebody else. I'm like trying to fight back tears. It was crazy, but it was a cool moment.
Your dad was here.
Yeah, he flew in from Ghana, which is like super special and important for me.
So I thought you should hear that one. But all of these other ones that I'm highlighting, these are people watching the show and they're just screaming when Michael B. Jordan's name was called. All of them were screaming when Michael B. Jordan's name was called. So a shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I think even if we shout out to Michael B. Jordan for winning that award. I think that award, winning that award, and Ryan Coogler winning original screenplay. I think that Ms. Arkapaw winning in cinematography for Sinners, and Ludwig winning for the musical thing. I think that was good. I really would have loved for them to have won, Ryan Coogler to have won Best Director. And I really would have wanted them to have best ensembles, best picture. But shout out to One Battle After Another. Then we got into just really quickly people talking about being racist. And there was an article written by, I guess she's from Africa somewhere, Canada or Africa. She was saying that every time Sinner loses awards, its fans call it racism. The film deserves a better argument. It's always interesting to me how people from outside trying to look in, trying to critique something, and they don't have a clue about what's going on. They don't even have a clue about how racism is permanent, is a fixture in our country, whether we want to admit it or not. It is. And that we do see that a lot of stories that are not white male centered are not given a second or third look until you have to push things like DEI incentives. You have to push certain things. People think because that push means that your projects are bad. No, it's just that it gets pushed so that it could be highlighted. One of the better things that I like about the Oscars, this Oscar season, and hopefully the Oscar season moving forward, is now that people who are voting, they have to watch the movie. You cannot vote in any category where you have not watched the movies. So that to me is a good step forward. Gone are the days of politicking like they used to, where people were taking out directors and people were having like these parties where the nominees would give a speech about why, how they're so excited about winning, how they would love to get your vote. I think they pretty much cut that down ever since, when was that? A couple of Oscars ago, when they found out that lady whose movie I don't think anybody saw or anybody knew anything about, but she received a nomination and people couldn't understand where she came from. Everyone knew that she was an actress. Don't get mishear me, but her camp did a lot of campaigning to get her on the Oscars. And if my fact checkers, you know exactly who I'm talking about, because this happened a few years ago, which led to the people talking about, hey, no longer you're going to do any of this kind of campaigning like this. You all can, you can campaign, but the people who are voting on these movies and voting on these IPs, they've got to go and watch the movie. See, gone are the days that the people can sit back and just, like I said, they don't have to watch the movie, and then they'll campaign for, then people are campaigning, and then it's pretty much the campaign is what builds you up or sink you versus the actual work. So now you're having to actually watch the work and then vote for it. So that is a plus in the right direction. But what do you all think? What do you all think about the Oscars? Did you watch? Did you enjoy them? I hadn't watched the Oscars in almost 10 years now. And I realized the one thing it was because the Oscars is very long. I think that there's got to, I know they want to make sure that all their nominees have an opportunity to speak. But they, if anything, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, if anything, they can take a tip from the BAFTAs and have a 2-hour delay, and then, kind of whittle some of that stuff out and whittle some of that stuff down. And speaking of the 2-hour delay, Golden won as the best music, as the best song. And those folks came down to receive their award, and they cut the mic and the lights out on them. And I couldn't tell how long, because it looked like everybody else had a decent amount of time to say what they needed to say, but it seems like they cut their mic off really quick. And I thought that was, and then when they cut their mic off, they panned over to Conan O'Brien, who was absolutely dying laughing. And I thought that that was kind of rude. I thought that that was rude. But like I said, I don't know how long it seems like, because it used to be people had at least about 2 to 3 minutes. So when does that 2 to 3 minutes start? As they get up to come down? Because in that theater, the way that theater was made, people were coming from the rafters. People were coming down from the rafters, literally. Because the K-pop people did. They came down from the rafters. A lot of those people who were winning from documentaries, they were coming down from the rafters, and they didn't get booed off or anything like that. But I thought that was optically, that didn't look good for you to have done that. Like I said, I don't know how long the time is anymore, because like I said, it used to be 2 minutes, but it took them a good while to get to the stage because they were coming from the rafters. So does a 2 minute start when they say their name, or does a 2 minute start once they all get on stage? I don't know. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Hello there. How are you? Let me see how to pronounce your name. Christ Girl 828. How are you doing? Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the Oscars. Make sure you write it and comment it down below. All right, people, with the Oscars, that's the end of the award season. Now, I will go over the fashions at the award show. That will be in a separate video, and y'all make sure that you all check that out as well. All right, people, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.